trying something. I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Okay.
Hallo, Kari. Mite kulu.
Oh, that's perfect. Kiitos, oikein hyvä.
Okay, I don't know why I didn't say it now because these were the only words
very well, thank you. That was very good. Very well done.
That was good. Okay.
Very good finish.
Okay. Well, you had your birthday some days ago.
That's true.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Well, there's no going back.
Well, only 2 days from mine.
Oh, really?
I'm
Congratulations.
1 year older.
Okay. Young men, both of us.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm still going on the young. Well, I read that you are an autodidact, so you learn everything from scratch by yourself.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
How did you do that?
I don't know if I learned anything, but it's well, as far as drawing goes, drawing is basically it's sitting down and drawing 8 hours a day, and you learn by doing. That's what I think. And I can't give you an answer, really. Well, this will make a nice interview. I have no clue.
I read that you illustrated some kid books.
Yeah.
You are a caricaturist.
Well, a bad one, but still.
Okay. An illustrator. You made illustrations for advertisements and, of course, comic books. But is there something what you like more or most of these jobs?
Well, yeah, comic books and the storytelling, writing stories especially, is my first love. I was a real old comic book nerd when I was younger. I still am, I suppose, but less so. And yeah, so comic books is really what I love doing. It is, thankfully, full day's work for me these days. And I'm grateful for it.
You were able to make a profession out of a hobby.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good way to ruin a hobby. Yeah.
okay. I read in an interview that René Goscinny is one of your favorite authors. And would you have loved to have have drawn a story written by him?
No, I think everybody would have, of course, but alas, no longer possible.
And well, Goscinny is already many years dead, but Uderzo is still there. He gave over the job to someone else. What do you think about it?
I think it's fine. I mean, he has had a team for years who've done Asterix, and I'm sure it'll continue as it has done. Some people, when they retire, choose to retire the characters as well, but I see no reason why Asterix should go.
Going back to Disney, who was your biggest influence?
Disney, well, Karl Barks, of course. I grew up with Barks stories, as most people in Finland did, and but there are so many. And the fun thing is that these days I'm allowed to, work with some of these people that I admired, like Dan Yippers and others, and it's wonderful. I was just told Dan Yippers that I sent him a fan letter in the 80s. Got a lovely drawing as a reply, and thankfully he didn't remember what I'd written, something adoring, I'm sure.
Amongst fans, there is always the discussion that there are the stories from Italy, there are the stories from Northern Europe, and the fans always discuss which are best. What do you think?
Well, it's a different tradition. The Topolino stuff, from Disney Italy, just because of the length of the stories, you can build long adventurous stories for the pocket books. It is a different tradition than doing the weekly magazine. I don't think that you should compare the two, really. I prefer doing these little comedic bits, 10 to 12 pages, that sort of thing. Those are the most fun. But yeah, just wrote a longer story, the first one I've ever done for the pocket books. A 40-page adventure story that'll probably come out next year. I've made a nice change. It's a different discipline.
You have to draw longer on one story.
That's true. Well, thankfully I only did story sketches for that one, and you know, so it was quite quick work. But
you also said that in another interview that Donnie Duck is your favorite. Why?
did I?
Well, I don't know. I read it, maybe.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's not really. Donald is a favorite, and Scrooge, of course. Back to the basics. Donnie makes a nice change. We started in 1999 at Egmont producing the stories after the Italians had done a few, and now I've done about 50 short adventures for Donnie Duck, and because it is its own universe, it's fun to play with those characters.
Why is he so different from Tick and Track? It's
Well,
French.
Yeah.
Why is he so different?
God, I don't know. I think he's, well, Huey, Dewey and Louie have grown up, haven't they? You know, joined the woodchucks, and they're little know-it-alls these days, and Donald is the way they were in the 1930s and 40s, bit of a hellraiser, and that's why I like him.
Well, maybe they grown up a bit. Huey, Dewey and Louie.
Yeah.
And I sometimes have the impression that the three of them are becoming a little too what's it called? Brav.
Too nice.
Too nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
So Donnie is more
yeah.
more of an adventurous kind of type.
Yeah, that might be true as well.
I have to look at some of these things I have written down. Who's writing your stories?
I write them myself,
Mm-hmm.
all of them. I still do a bit more writing than I do drawing. So I've never, apart from a few one-pages, I've never drawn other people's scripts.
Why?
Well, because as I said, I enjoy writing. It comes easier than drawing. Drawing is hard work. And I'm a very, very lazy person. So, yeah, writing is fun.
Mm. Do you write for other people?
Yes, some. The Donnie Ducks are these days, they're mostly drawn by a fellow called Maximilian. I know Maximino is his pen name in Spain, so he draws all of those. And a few stories as well. The longer adventure story that I mentioned, Giorgio Cavazzano is going to draw that one.
Okay. Would you like to draw? What would you like to write? Also some adventures for an Italian.
Well, not at the moment. I'm really happy as I am.
Okay. You're working on your own, as I read.
Mm.
So sometimes, was this a good choice, or is it sometimes something you would like to go back?
I think it's the hardest part of the job is the fact that, well, you basically learn for 8 to 10 hours a day.
Mm.
There is a need to be sociable. That's why people at the cafe where I have my morning coffee, they're probably sick of the sight of me because I go there in the morning and spend the first few hours drawing there. But I do eat lunch there as well, so they get something out of it. But it can be hard sometimes complaining. But yeah, it would be. But the thing is, in Finland especially, there isn't a tradition of a studio where a lot of artists would get together. So I have my own studio where I spend the days, partly because of distances, etc. Yeah.
Wait, you said you're in a cafe drawing. Is there also, do you also have an office where you draw?
Yeah. I have a little office space.
Can you explain a little bit how it's laid out?
Well, it's 2 rooms in a near the basement of a building in Helsinki, with a little kitchenette and a loo, so one can sleep there if need be. But I don't work that late anymore. Again, with the lazy. It's a little nice place to go to. It is. I think it's useful to have the work separate from your home, because not only do you have to get out and take a bus to work and see 3-dimensional characters, as in people, sometimes, and it sets up a certain routine.
I also work on my own in my office, and that is at my home.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Can be hard.
It can be hard to separate the work from the private life. That's true. Well, what are the works you are right now doing? What kind of stories are you making?
Well, because stories are done in stages. First the synopsis is approved, then the script, and the story sketches, and then the pencils, and then things. There are always 5 or 6 stories in the go at various stages of production. So pretty much the same 10-page adventures. There's a series called Grandma Duck's Adventures. I wrote the first 4 and drew 3 of those, and we're planning to write more, and somebody else is taking over the drawing. So there's more of that coming, and I just did an Easter story for next Easter, and a few winter stories. That's about it.
Are we going to see these 2 stories maybe soon in Germany?
Yeah, next year, next Easter. And there's at least 2 winter stories coming before that.
Do you see often some of the other draws from the other artists in Finland?
Well, mostly at comic book conventions. There are 3 in Finland. Helsinki, Tampere and Kemi, which boasts of being the northernmost comic book festival in the world, up the Arctic Circle. So that's
there.
Well, yeah, it can be. Thankfully, it's in May, I think.
Okay.
So when I'm invited, I go to those, and it's nice to see people.
But you don't see the other artists on other occasions. I
know they're terrible people. I don't want to see. No, they're not. No, not really. No. It's a question of timetables and that sort of thing.
I read that you live in Espoo.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the 2nd biggest city in Finland, and Nokia has its main building there.
Yeah, that's right.
So, what's the special thing about this city?
The fact that it's not a city at all.
Okay.
It's part of the greater Helsinki area, which is basically 4 cities, one of them being Helsinki altogether. And Espoo has little hubs of activity, little centres all over, but no centralised centre of the city. And it's quite a large area, but it's suburban Helsinki, basically.
Okay. You're very well known in Finland, and that's what I read.
Well, I don't know.
You sometimes show up in
Donald is, not me.
Are there some people around Espoo who recognize you?
No,
No.
thankfully. I don't know. Or they're too polite to come and tell me that they hated the last story. You know.
No, I also read that Espoo is the city where Kimi Räikkönen was born, and there's
Really? Okay.
Cici Lehto who came
Yeah.
there, and some other well-known sports people. Is this something which is special about the city, that there are people there who are famous, or is it just a coincidence?
God, no, it's a dreary, wind-beaten place where nobody wants to go. And this announcement was sponsored by the Espoo Tourist Board. No, I don't know. It's an okay place to live.
It's not that nice, okay?
Yeah, it is fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
as suburban areas are, you know.
But one last question: you portray yourself often as yourself with a hat of Donald Duck. Why?
Yeah, well, God. Well, it's one of those things, as the cameras here will prove, I don't photograph well. So when somebody asks to send a picture for whatever purpose, I prefer to draw one. And I actually have a hat like that. I don't walk about with it. That would be stranger than usual. But yeah, I do have a lovely little Donald's hat.
Where did you find that?
Oh, they made it as a gift by the Finnish publishers, not only for me, but to give out to guests.
Okay.
It looks like a blue beret with just a black thingy hanging off the side of it.
I would love to see that.
Well, I'll try and get you one. We can walk around Frankfurt
Okay.
the next time we meet.
Okay, I can do that. So thanks very much for being
Thank
here.
you. It's been a pleasure.
For me too. Maybe we will see us again soon. I don't know. Maybe next year at Erlangen.
Yes, that's the
I
plan.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah, that is the plan.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. I'll see you then.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.